Did you know that the number one reason older men lose their intimacy, energy, and confidence doesn't begin in the bedroom? It begins deep inside a swollen, irritated gland that most men never see and almost never talk about. I'm talking about your prostate. And what I'm about to share may surprise you because there's one category of natural foods that has been quietly healing men's prostates for centuries. Yet most doctors never mention them. Even more shocking, one of these fruits, when eaten correctly, can begin to reduce inflammation and restore comfort in as little as 18 hours. I'm Dr. Marcus, a urologist and men's health expert with over 30 years of experience helping men over 60 reclaim their health naturally. I've worked with patients from every walk of life, from high-level executives to retired veterans. And I've seen firsthand how the right foods can change everything. No pills, no surgeries, just nature used wisely. Now you may think you've heard it all, but what if the solution to your nighttime urination, weak flow, or intimacy struggles wasn't a supplement, but something already in your kitchen? What if five simple fruits held the key to shrinking your prostate, improving blood flow, and making you feel like yourself again? In this video, I'll walk you through five specific fruits backed by science that can reduce swelling, restore function, and support real male vitality after 60. And wait until you hear which fruit ranks number one, because chances are you've eaten it your whole life without knowing what it can really do. Before we continue, if you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to do so now. And don't forget to tap the notification bell. That way you'll never miss another doctor-backed tip designed specifically for men like you. And if this video resonates with you, just type yes in the comments. If it doesn't, type no so I can keep improving and bring you content that truly matters. Let me start by sharing something that happened in my practice just 3 weeks ago. A 69-year-old retired electrician named Walter walked into my office looking defeated. Walter had been struggling with prostate issues for over 2 years. He was getting up 4 to 6 times every night to urinate. His stream was weak and inconsistent, and worst of all, he felt like he was losing his identity as a man. "Dr. Marcus," Walter said, slumped in the chair across from my desk. "I used to be the guy everyone came to when they needed something fixed. Now I can't even fix my own body. I'm tired of feeling like a prisoner to my own prostate." Walter's words hit me hard because I've heard similar stories from hundreds of men over the years. The medical system had offered him medications with side effects, procedures that scared him, and expensive supplements that promised everything but delivered little. What Walter didn't realize was that his body was crying out for something much simpler and much more powerful. 6 weeks later, Walter called me with excitement I hadn't heard in his voice since our first meeting. "Doc," he said, "I can't believe something so simple could make such a difference. I'm sleeping through the night, my stream is stronger, and I feel like I got my life back." Walter's transformation wasn't unusual. I've seen it dozens of times with men who discover the healing power of specific fruits. Because sometimes the most profound medicine doesn't come from a pharmacy. It comes from nature, and it's been waiting for us to remember its power. The pharmaceutical industry wants you to believe that prostate problems require expensive medications or invasive procedures. But your ancestors knew something we've forgotten. They knew that certain fruits contain compounds that could heal, restore, and rejuvenate the male body from the inside out. What Walter discovered, and what I'm about to share with you, is that prostate healing doesn't have to be complicated, expensive, or frightening. It can be as simple as making the right choices about what you put on your plate every day. So let's begin this healing journey with the very first fruit, a small green powerhouse that's often overlooked, yet incredibly effective at calming inflammation deep inside the prostate. It's not exotic and it's not hard to find. In fact, you may already have it in your kitchen. I'm talking about kiwi, and here's why it matters more than you think. 1. Kiwi, the anti-inflammatory vitamin balm for your prostate. When I first began working with older men struggling with prostate issues, I kept noticing a pattern. The common complaints, frequent urination at night, that nagging pressure in the lower belly, difficulty starting or finishing the stream, they weren't always caused by something dramatic. In many cases, they were being quietly fueled by one thing: chronic inflammation. That low, silent burn inside the prostate that grows with age, lifestyle, and time. And what I found most interesting, some of the best tools to fight that inflammation weren't hidden in prescriptions. They were hiding in plain sight. Let me tell you about Frank, a 72-year-old retired teacher who came to me after months of increasing prostate discomfort. Frank was a methodical man, someone who approached problems systematically and believed in evidence-based solutions. But his prostate issues had him feeling frustrated and helpless. Dr. Marcus, Frank said during our first consultation, I've read every article, tried every supplement, but nothing seems to make a lasting difference. The inflammation just keeps coming back. Is this something I just have to live with? Frank's question highlighted a fundamental misunderstanding that many men have about prostate health. They think of prostate problems as mechanical issues that require mechanical solutions. But the reality is that most prostate problems are inflammatory in nature, and inflammation responds beautifully to the right nutritional interventions. Take kiwi, for example. Most men I meet think of it as just a tart little fruit you slice into on occasion. Maybe part of a fruit salad, maybe forgotten in the back of the fridge. But kiwi is far more than that. It's what I call a vitamin bomb. One of the richest natural sources of vitamin C, kiwi delivers an antioxidant punch that goes directly where it's needed, into your bloodstream, into your tissues, and yes, into your prostate. The vitamin C content in kiwi is truly remarkable. A single kiwi contains more vitamin C than an orange, and this vitamin C is in a form that's highly bioavailable to your body. But here's what makes this particularly important for prostate health. Vitamin C is one of the most potent anti-inflammatory compounds in nature. Vitamin C does something remarkable. It tames inflammation at the cellular level. It helps neutralize the oxidative stress that irritates the prostate gland and causes it to swell over time. That swelling is what presses against the urethra and bladder, making you feel like you always have to go, even when you don't. When I explained this to Frank, he was intrigued but skeptical. You're telling me that eating kiwi can reduce my prostate inflammation? He asked. That's exactly what I was telling him, and Frank proved it to himself. I've had patients in their 70s add 2 kiwis a day to their routine, just two, and come back weeks later telling me they now sleep through the night. They're urinating less often. They feel lighter, more relaxed. One gentleman told me, it's the first time in years I don't feel like I'm chained to the bathroom. Frank started eating 2 kiwis every morning with his breakfast. Within 10 days, he noticed that he wasn't waking up as frequently during the night. By the third week, his urgency had decreased significantly, and he was sleeping through the night for the first time in over a year. I can't believe something so simple could make such a difference, Frank told me at his follow-up appointment. I feel like I have my freedom back. But kiwi doesn't stop with just vitamin C. It's packed with fiber, which quietly supports digestion and gut health, two things that indirectly affect hormonal balance and inflammation throughout the body, including the prostate. And when your gut is healthy, your body becomes more efficient. Hormones stabilize, inflammation drops, the burden on your prostate starts to lift. The fiber in kiwi also helps regulate blood sugar, which is crucial for men over 60. When blood sugar spikes and crashes throughout the day, it creates an inflammatory cascade that affects every organ system, including the prostate. By providing steady, sustained energy and helping to regulate blood sugar, kiwi creates an environment where healing can occur. The best part, kiwi is gentle. It doesn't upset the stomach. It works in harmony with your body. No side effects, no harsh responses, just slow, steady healing. You can eat it on its own, blend it into a smoothie, or pair it with breakfast. But however you enjoy it, make it consistent. Healing isn't about heroic effort. It's about quiet daily decisions. Frank discovered this truth through his own experience. The changes weren't dramatic or immediate, but they were steady and sustainable. 6 months later, his prostate symptoms had improved by about 70%, and he felt more energetic and vital than he had in years. And while kiwi is quietly powerful, the next fruit we're about to explore may just steal the show. Because even though it's small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, it holds a kind of antioxidant strength that researchers are calling one of nature's best-kept secrets for protecting male vitality. Let's take a closer look. 2. Blueberries, the antioxidant warriors that protect your manhood. I remember a man named Carl who came to see me in his early 60s. He was tired of the constant urgency, tired of the weak flow, and more than anything, tired of feeling like he was slowly fading as a man. "I just don't feel sharp anymore, Doc," he said. "Not in my body, not in my mind." We sat down, looked at his lifestyle, and I asked him a simple question. What are you feeding your cells? Carl's case was particularly interesting because his prostate problems were accompanied by cognitive decline and general fatigue. This combination of symptoms often indicates that oxidative stress is affecting multiple organ systems simultaneously. Carl needed more than just prostate support. He needed cellular protection. It's a question most men don't consider because prostate health isn't just about the prostate. It's about protecting your body at the cellular level. And that's where blueberries step in. I call them the antioxidant warriors, and they've become one of my go-to recommendations for men who want to restore not just function, but vitality. The science behind blueberries is truly impressive. These small fruits contain one of the highest concentrations of antioxidants found in any food. But it's not just the quantity of antioxidants that makes blueberries special. It's the specific types of antioxidants they contain. Blueberries may be small, but they are incredibly dense with a group of compounds called anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that fight oxidative stress, the very process that ages and inflames your prostate from the inside out. Every time you eat a handful, you're helping to shield your prostate cells from damage. You're slowing the invisible wear and tear that builds up with age, poor circulation, and chronic inflammation. Anthocyanins are what give blueberries their deep blue color, and they're remarkably effective at crossing the blood-brain barrier and the blood-prostate barrier. This means they can directly reach the tissues that need protection most. Carl was willing to try anything, so I suggested he start with a simple protocol. 1 cup of fresh blueberries every morning. Carl was skeptical at first. How can something so simple make a difference when expensive supplements haven't worked? He asked. I explained to Carl that sometimes the most powerful medicine comes in the simplest packages. Blueberries don't just provide antioxidants, they provide them in a form that's perfectly designed for human absorption and utilization. Carl started adding a small bowl of blueberries to his breakfast every morning. Within 2 weeks, he noticed something subtle but meaningful. He wasn't waking up as much at night. His mind felt clearer, and most importantly, he started to feel present again with his wife, with his body, with himself. He later told me, I never thought fruit could change the way I feel as a man. But the changes didn't stop there. By the 6th week, Carl reported that his stream was stronger, his urgency had decreased, and he was experiencing spontaneous erections for the first time in months. I feel like someone turned the lights back on, he said. That's what most people miss. Blueberries don't just help your prostate, they help your brain, your blood vessels, and your testosterone. They support better circulation throughout your entire lower body. And that improved circulation means more oxygen, more nutrients, and better performance both in the bathroom and in the bedroom. The research on blueberries and men's health is extensive. Studies have shown that regular blueberry consumption can improve erectile function, enhance cognitive performance, and reduce inflammation markers throughout the body. For men over 60, this combination of benefits is particularly valuable. There's also a psychological shift that comes from feeding your body what it truly needs. When you choose foods like blueberries, you're sending your body a message. I haven't given up. I still care. I still want to feel alive. And that mindset in itself begins to change everything. Carl experienced this psychological shift profoundly. I realized I'd been treating my body like a machine that was breaking down. He told me, now I treat it like a garden that needs tending. Blueberries are simple. They're delicious. You can toss them into oatmeal, mix them with yogurt, or eat them straight out of the container. What matters most is consistency. Make them a daily habit. Over time, they begin to rebuild what age and stress have quietly eroded. But if blueberries are the quiet protectors, the next fruit is the bold warrior. It's ancient, rich in symbolism and science. And when it comes to revitalizing male hormones and cellular repair, it offers something almost no other fruit can. Let me show you why this crimson powerhouse has earned the respect of both modern researchers and ancient healers. 3. Pomegranate, the ancient fruit that revitalizes prostate cells. There's something deeply symbolic about the pomegranate. Maybe it's the way it's structured. Tough on the outside, but once opened, it reveals hundreds of glistening ruby-red seeds. It reminds me of the men I work with every day. Stoic, strong, but underneath that exterior, there's often quiet suffering, pressure, discomfort, and a deep longing to feel vital again. And when it comes to restoring the prostate at a cellular level, I often tell my patients, this is the fruit you've been missing. Let me tell you about George, a 68-year-old retired military officer who came to me with a complex case. George had been dealing with prostate issues for 3 years, but he also had declining testosterone levels and was experiencing erectile dysfunction. His previous doctors had treated each problem separately, but George intuitively knew they were connected. Dr. Marcus, George said, I feel like my whole body is shutting down piece by piece. My prostate is swollen, my energy is gone, and I can't perform the way I used to. Is there anything that can help with all of this? George's question was insightful because he recognized what many men and doctors miss. These problems are interconnected. They all stem from cellular aging, hormonal decline, and chronic inflammation. What George needed wasn't multiple treatments for multiple problems. He needed one powerful intervention that could address the root causes. Pomegranate isn't trendy, it's timeless. For centuries, it's been used in ancient medicine to restore male strength. And now modern science is catching up. It contains a compound called ellagic acid, along with a class of plant nutrients called polyphenols that work directly to protect and repair prostate tissue. The research on pomegranate and men's health is remarkable. Studies have shown that pomegranate extract can slow the progression of prostate cancer, improve erectile function, and boost testosterone levels. But what makes pomegranate truly special is how these benefits work synergistically. These compounds don't just sit in your bloodstream. They target inflammation, oxidative damage, and even hormonal imbalances that silently sabotage your energy and function as you age. One of my patients, Greg, a retired carpenter in his 70s, came to me after struggling with persistent prostate swelling and low testosterone. He had tried medications, but they left him feeling foggy and flat. I suggested something simpler: half a glass of pure pomegranate juice every morning. Juice? He asked, raising an eyebrow. Just juice? I nodded. Just give it 7 days. By the end of week 2, he said something I'll never forget. I didn't just feel better down there. I felt like myself again. George decided to try the pomegranate protocol, and his results were even more dramatic than Greg's. Within 3 weeks, his prostate symptoms had improved significantly. His energy levels increased, and he started experiencing morning erections again. But the most remarkable change was in his overall vitality and confidence. I feel like I got my manhood back, George told me at his 2-month follow-up. Not just physically, but emotionally and mentally too. That's the power of pomegranate. It reaches deep into the tissues of your prostate and begins to calm the chaos. Less swelling, less pressure on your bladder, fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom, and for many men, improved desire and stamina they hadn't felt in years. Beyond the prostate, pomegranate supports circulation, immunity, and hormone regulation, 3 pillars of strong male health. And while the seeds can be a bit messy to eat, the juice makes it easy. Just make sure it's pure, unsweetened, and taken consistently. The beauty of pomegranate is that it brings both strength and softness. It helps you feel stable in your body again and connected to the part of yourself you may have thought was gone for good. But as impressive as it is, the next fruit offers something even more surprising. It's sweet, it's hydrating, and within every juicy bite lies a secret compound that quietly protects your prostate and boosts circulation in a way few foods can. Let's take a closer look at what this cooling summer favorite can do for the man you still are and the man you're becoming. 4. Watermelon, nature's secret source of lycopene. Every summer growing up, my grandfather would sit on the porch with a thick slice of watermelon in his hands, juice running down his forearms, laughing like a boy again. Back then, I just thought it was a sweet, refreshing treat. But now, after decades as a doctor working with aging men, I see it differently. That simple fruit taken for granted by so many is actually one of nature's most powerful allies for the aging prostate. Let me share the story of Robert, a 66-year-old man who perfectly illustrates watermelon's healing power. Robert came to me in the middle of summer, frustrated by months of prostate discomfort and urinary problems. Watermelon doesn't scream medicine. It doesn't come in a bottle or a box, but inside that juicy red flesh is something remarkable: lycopene, the same compound found in tomatoes. Lycopene is a potent antioxidant that directly targets inflammation in the prostate, and watermelon delivers it in a way that's gentle, hydrating, and easy for the body to absorb. What many people don't realize is that watermelon actually contains more lycopene per serving than tomatoes. The lycopene in watermelon is also more bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb and use it more effectively. I had a patient named Robert, a soft-spoken man in his late 60s, who came to me frustrated by constant pressure in his lower abdomen and weak, inconsistent urine flow. He didn't want to start medications, not yet. I suggested he try something simple for 2 weeks, a large slice of watermelon every afternoon. That's it. Nothing fancy, just consistency. When he came back, he looked different, relaxed, more energetic. He smiled and said, "I didn't expect much, but I feel lighter, less weighed down, and I'm sleeping through the night." Robert's improvement wasn't just psychological. When we tested his prostate-specific antigen, PSA levels after 6 weeks of regular watermelon consumption, they had dropped by 15%. His inflammatory markers were also significantly reduced. Watermelon does more than cool you off. It hydrates your body deeply, flushes your kidneys, and clears out toxins that often contribute to inflammation and irritation in the urinary tract. With its high water content, it supports smoother urination and eases that frustrating stop-start sensation so many men experience. The hydration aspect of watermelon is often overlooked but incredibly important for prostate health. Many men over 60 live in a state of chronic mild dehydration, which concentrates toxins in the urinary system and contributes to inflammation. But the real magic lies in how it subtly boosts circulation, not just in your pelvis, but in your entire vascular system. And better circulation means better oxygen delivery, better hormonal flow, and yes, better erections. I've seen men regain sensitivity, performance, and confidence, not through pills or invasive procedures, but through patient natural nourishment. Robert experienced all of these benefits. 6 months later, he reported that not only were his prostate symptoms virtually gone, but his sexual function had improved dramatically. "I feel like I'm 20 years younger," he told me. That's what watermelon represents. It's gentle but effective, familiar but underestimated. So the next time you cut into a slice, know that you're not just feeding your taste buds, you're restoring something deeper inside, something essential. Now, if watermelon opens the door to healing, the next fruit, our number one, blows it wide open. Because while most men see it as nothing more than an everyday kitchen staple, it actually holds the highest known source of prostate-protecting lycopene. And when prepared the right way, it can begin working in your body in less than a day. Let me show you why this overlooked red fruit may be the most powerful tool you've had all along. 5. Tomato, the number one fruit to shrink your prostate fast. It still amazes me how something so ordinary, something sitting quietly on your kitchen counter, can hold such extraordinary healing power. The tomato isn't flashy, doesn't cost much, and yet when it comes to shrinking the prostate and restoring a man's vitality, it stands head and shoulders above the rest. Let me tell you about Marvin, an 82-year-old retired farmer who came to me as a last resort. Marvin had been dealing with severe prostate problems for over 5 years. He was taking multiple medications, had undergone several procedures, and was considering more invasive surgery. I've spent years reviewing studies, talking with patients, and seeing real outcomes. And time after time, tomatoes come out on top. Why? Because they contain the highest concentration of lycopene. A nutrient that doesn't just reduce inflammation, it actively protects the cells of your prostate from long-term damage and overgrowth. The research on lycopene and prostate health is extensive and impressive. Studies involving tens of thousands of men have consistently shown that those with the highest lycopene intake have significantly lower rates of prostate cancer and benign prostatic hyperplasia. But here's a secret that most men don't know. The power of the tomato is unlocked when it's cooked. Lycopene becomes up to 4 times more absorbable when the tomato is heated, turning something as simple as a bowl of tomato soup or a spoonful of tomato paste into a therapeutic food. Add a little olive oil and you've created one of nature's most powerful healing combinations for the male body. This is crucial information that can make the difference between success and failure with tomato therapy. Raw tomatoes contain lycopene, but it's bound up in the plant's cell walls and largely unavailable to your body. Cooking breaks down these cell walls and makes the lycopene bioavailable. When I explained this to Marvin, he was intrigued. "You mean something as simple as tomato soup could help my prostate?" he asked. "That's exactly what I meant," and Marvin decided to test it for himself. I remember one of my oldest patients, Marvin, an 82-year-old retired farmer. He didn't want to rely on more medications, and he was fed up with constantly waking to urinate. So we kept it simple. He started having a warm cup of tomato soup every morning, just like his mother used to make. 2 weeks later, he walked into my office with a grin and said, "Doc, I feel like something turned back on." Marvin's transformation was remarkable. Within the first week, he was sleeping through the night for the first time in years. By the third week, his stream was stronger and more consistent. After 2 months, his prostate had shrunk measurably, and his PSA levels had dropped significantly. That's the thing about tomatoes. They're not just food, they're fuel for your hormones, your circulation, and your manhood. Over time, they help reduce swelling in the prostate, improve urine flow, and even increase the strength and frequency of morning erections. Not because they're magic, but because they give your body the raw tools it needs to restore itself. The mechanism by which lycopene works is fascinating. It accumulates in prostate tissue at concentrations much higher than in blood plasma, suggesting that the prostate has a special affinity for this compound. Once there, lycopene acts as a powerful antioxidant, protecting cells from damage and reducing inflammation. Tomatoes are also rich in vitamin C, K, and potassium, all of which support blood pressure, immune strength, and tissue repair. But it's the lycopene that makes the biggest impact. That's why I encourage every man over 60 to build a habit around it. Whether it's marinara on vegetables, tomato juice with a pinch of salt, or even a spoon of concentrated tomato paste, consistency is where the transformation happens. Marvin discovered this truth through his own experience. He made tomato soup his daily breakfast for 6 months, and the improvements continued to build. "I feel like I got 20 years of my life back," he told me at his final visit. And now that you know the power of this humble fruit, the real question is what happens when you combine it with the others? When kiwi, blueberries, pomegranate, watermelon, and tomato all work together, what kind of change can your body experience? The answer is profound. When you combine these 5 fruits strategically, they create what I call a healing synergy. Each fruit contributes unique compounds that work together to address different aspects of prostate health, inflammation, oxidative stress, hormonal balance, and circulation. Because the answer, my friend, isn't just in one fruit, it's in how you use them to build a foundation of strength, confidence, and vitality. And in the final moments of this video, I'd like to leave you with something even more powerful than lycopene: hope. Let's talk about what's possible when you take this knowledge and turn it into action. The men who experience the most dramatic improvements are those who commit to all five fruits as part of a comprehensive healing protocol. They eat kiwi for breakfast, snack on blueberries mid-morning, have pomegranate juice with lunch, enjoy watermelon in the afternoon, and finish with tomato soup for dinner. This approach provides a steady stream of healing compounds throughout the day, creating an environment where the prostate can heal and regenerate. It's not about heroic effort or dramatic lifestyle changes. It's about consistent, gentle nourishment that allows your body to remember what it's capable of. Conclusion: if you've made it this far, I want you to take a breath and know something important. Your body hasn't given up on you, not even close. Every ache, every late night trip to the bathroom, every moment of doubt you've had about your strength or your manhood, those are just signals. Signals that your body is asking for support, not surrender. What we've covered today isn't theory, it's real, natural, proven support that your prostate has likely been needing for years. Kiwi brings powerful vitamin C and fiber to fight inflammation. Blueberries deliver antioxidants that protect your prostate and sharpen your mind. Pomegranate nourishes your cells and helps regulate your hormones. Watermelon hydrates and delivers a unique form of lycopene that eases urinary strain. And the tomato, humble, familiar, and deeply underestimated, is the #1 fruit for reducing swelling and restoring circulation from the inside out. None of these are hard to find, none require a prescription, and yet when used consistently, they can create a ripple effect that changes how you feel, how you sleep, how you move, and how you show up in the most personal moments of your life. I've walked this path with hundreds of men, some younger, some well into their 80s, and I can tell you healing doesn't always start with a pill. Sometimes it starts with a piece of fruit, a better breakfast, and a decision to believe that you're still worth taking care of. So now the choice is yours. You've heard the science, you've heard the stories, and if even one of these fruits speaks to you, start there. Your next chapter might just begin with your next bite. If this video spoke to you, I invite you to like, share it with a friend, and leave a comment below. I read every word, and your story might help someone else begin their healing too. And if you'd like to support this channel so we can continue bringing honest, doctor-backed health advice to more men, consider making a small donation using the link below. Every bit helps, and I'm deeply grateful.